hit me.
Why, ain't never hit anyone yet. Just stand still, Buntline.
That's enough. You've proved you can do it.
I gotta draw a picture of the famous Ned Buntline who wrote all them storybooks about Western heroes.
But you don't have to aim so close.
Well, I gotta draw an accurate picture. Now, hold your head where it was. No, a little bit to the left. There. Now I can finish your head.
You're gonna finish me.
Well, if you live, you can put it in a book.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien.
Ned Buntline, originator of the dime novel portraying life in the wild and woolly West, was a great trial to Marshal Wyatt Earp. Every time the author left New York to gather material for a new book, he expected Wyatt to cooperate with his fantastic ideas. But when Wyatt moved from Dodge City to Tombstone, he thought he had gotten rid of Buntline. Alas, alas.
Well, Spencer, there you are, Tombstone, wickedest town in the West. Now, make a good sketch of it, because we'll put it on the cover of my new book.
It's very, colorful, Mr. Buntline.
Colorful. I'll sell 250,000 copies of the first edition. Oh, and wait until you meet my special friend, Marshal Wyatt Earp. Yes, sir. King of the frontier, that's what I called him. And that book sold 500,000 copies, not counting the English rights. Wyatt Earp, his gold mine. I'll bet he's still wearing that Buntline special coat I gave him. I want to meet some real outlaws, Wyatt. My opposition is cleaning up with books on the James boys and Sam Bass and Billy the Kid. Of course, it's the old Robin Hood legend brought up to date. But my readers, they want outlaws, too. Some gallant band that takes from the rich and gives to the poor. That's the kind of... What's the matter?
Well, Mr. Buntline, I've never met any outlaws like that.
Well, what about the Clanton gang?
No, Mr. Buntline.
But you do know them, don't you, Wyatt?
Oh, yeah, I know them.
We're in luck. He knows the Clantons. Now, Wyatt, all I want is an introduction.
I'm sorry, Mr. Buntline, but if you'll take my advice, you won't go anywhere near them.
But why?
Because they're horse and cattle thieves, they rob stages, and they shoot men in the back, that's why.
Well, now, maybe you're a little prejudiced, Wyatt. I mean, being a peace officer.
Mr. Buntline, it just doesn't do me any good to try and argue with you. Now, the Clantons are dangerous, low-down hoodlums, but if you want to glorify them in a book, well, then that's your business.
But maybe circumstances drove them into crime. Maybe some deep personal tragedy embittered them.
Mr. Buntline, please. Marshal Earp knows his country. If the Clantons are dangerous...
All right. All right, Spencer. Maybe you're right. Maybe I had better take the Marshal's advice. Wyatt, how about having dinner with us down at the hotel?
Be glad to. Miss Nellie Cashman has the finest food in town.
Oh, it's real warming to see you again, my friend.
Well, it's wonderful to see you, too, Mr. Buntline. You know, that gun you gave me is, well, it's kind of been my right arm all these many years.
Good.
Mr. Spencer, I want to thank you for backing me up. The Clantons are no people to monkey around with. I'll see you later.
All right.
Pop, this is just plain foolishness. Inviting a book writer to dinner and then coming all the way in after him.
Emma, he wrote Dameron of the Nugget, and Dameron thinks we ought to treat him friendly.
A man who's friends with Wyatt Earp.
Politics, sis. We can show Buntline that we're hard-working, honest ranchers. And Dameron says that Buntline sells books all over the country.
Well, that must be him now.
Oh, Mr. Clanton.
Mr. Buntline, Mr. Spencer, welcome to our city. Mr. Spencer, you sit with my daughter, Emma Clanton, Mr. Spencer, Mr. Buntline.
How do you do, Mr. Clanton?
Get right in here, sir. Driver.
Frank Leslie. Well, howdy, Mr. Leslie. I thought you were in Denver.
Where do you know me, Wyatt? A Rolling Stone?
Yeah, I know you.
He threatened to shoot a feller over in the Cosmopolitan.
Oh, my joke went sour, Wyatt. I dropped a lizard down a man's neck, and he didn't laugh.
The feller had to laugh or he'd get shot. So the feller told me.
Well, I guess I got a little carried away.
Yeah, I guess you did get a little carried away. Well, if you'd checked your gun, you wouldn't have had that trouble. I'm going to have to hold you here for a while. Mr. Gibbs, you put Mr. Leslie in a nice, clean cell all by himself. Would you like some coffee, Frank?
Well, sure, Wyatt. Drop in for a chat later, huh?
I sure will. Well, they call him Buckskin Frank. One of the fastest men with a gun I've ever seen. Want to keep real friendly.
Oh, we're pals, Wyatt. Hey, lead the way, friend. I don't know this jail.
Well, right this way, friend.
You know, I can't figure out for the life of me how Wyatt Earp got the idea that you people were outside the law.
Just politics, Buntline. Why, Earp's a northerner. We're southerners.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Papa, tell him about the Epitaph newspaper.
Oh, yes, Finn. I clean forgot about that. Got a jackleg editor named Clum, the Epitaph has.
Clum.
And everything that the Nugget says, Clum says contrary.
Oh, and there's no such thing, then, as the Clanton gang.
Clanton gang? Well, never heard of it. Did you, Finn?
Just a lot of mean talk, that's all.
You mean you people are blamed for what the real outlaws do?
Why, yes, just politics, Buntline. Oh, daughter, take a chair. Mr. Buntline wants his artist to draw our picture.
What for?
Well, to put in his new book.
Now, don't be shy, my dear.
Do I have to, Papa?
It ain't a matter of having to, Emma. We aim to be friendly and show good manners.
There you are, my dear. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Ike, will you sit right up close to your sister, please? Make a group of it. All right, Spencer, there you have them. The Clantons, en famille. That means all together. There we are. Now, while he's drawing, could I make a few notes on the further misunderstandings?
Just tell the truth, Buntline. That's all we ask.
Well, that's exactly what you get, Mr. Clanton. And I want to thank you for your gracious hospitality.
Say goodbye to Miss Emma for us.
Yeah. Oh, and tell her she's going to like that picture. We're going to put it right on the front cover.
Fine. Now, you drive him into town, you drive real careful.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I didn't believe those people.
Believe them? I didn't either.
Are you going to call them outlaws in the book?
Well, of course I am. Naturally, I'll mix in a little of the Robin Hood in their activities, but don't you see the book? The Clantons posing as respectable ranchers and engaging in all kinds of lawlessness.
I don't think they'll like that, Mr. Buntline.
Yeah, but my readers will.
Unless I'm very wrong, they're violent people, the Clantons.
Well, of course they are. But you don't think they're going to come to New York to shoot me, do you?
Well,
Oh, now, Spencer, buck up. Did you ever hear of a writer getting shot for what he wrote or an artist for what he drew? And we're going to make liars out of those other writers because Ned Buntline actually visited the Clanton Outlaws. It's a beautiful country around here, isn't it?
Never did understand you, Wyatt. Here I am, a gambler and gunfighter, and we always got along, though. How come?
Well, for one thing, you never fight unless you have to, and
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll come back when you're not busy.
No, he's not busy, man. I'll just take my gun belt and mosey. My gun belt.
There you are, Mr. Leslie.
Thanks again, Wyatt. All yours, man.
Well, what is it this time?
Your friend, Mr. Buntline, wants to write a book about us.
He does?
Well, I read a couple of his books, and they're just trash.
Now, is that a nice way to talk about your guest?
Well, he's not a guest any longer. He came back here this morning, he and that artist fellow. Mr. Earp, you've got to do something about it. He's going to say terrible things about us, and Papa will just kill him, that's all.
Wait a minute. How do you know that Mr. Buntline is going to write anything about the Clantons at all?
By the questions he asked. He pretended to believe Papa, but I know he didn't. He's going to say we're bad people.
Oh, no. No, he's going to make you into heroes.
What?
Oh, sure. If Mr. Buntline ever writes anything about the Clantons, why, well, he'll change your father into a Robin Hood. You'll be victims of circumstance who rob the rich and give to the poor.
I don't believe you.
Oh, that's what Mr. Buntline told me himself. You don't have to worry. I'll probably wind up the villain.
I don't trust Mr. Buntline. And I don't want him to put us in a book. And you'd better warn him he can't hide, not even in New York.
This is one of the doggonedest fool things that Buntline has ever done. Now, you and I know outlaws, Mr. Leslie. Have you ever heard of one of our hoodlums that robbed the rich to give to the poor?
Nope.
No, neither have I. Well, I can't stop him from putting nobility into his outlaws, but what do you reckon Clanton will do if Buntline ever publishes that book?
Why, he'd kill the fool. Serve him right, too.
Well, I'd rather have him educated.
Would how?
Well, now, I wonder just what would happen if Mr. Buntline was kidnapped by Buckskin Frank Leslie and his gang of lawless hoodlums.
Oh, that sounds like fun, Wyatt. Well, give me the rest of the joke.
Well, I want to just show him how ornery hoodlums can really be. That is, if you can get some boys to go along with it.
Oh, yes, I think I can. Oh, Wyatt.
Right on time, but keep him gagged. Come on. Search him.
Is he spoke? Look at this gold watch. You got a ring? Stick out your hand. Hey, boss. There's a big diamond in this ring. Look here.
Benny, I want for you on guard at all times. You see any Wells Fargo men or Pinkertons, you give me the word. We got to get rid of him.
Yeah, boss.
And that means hiding the body before we lie it out. Now, you understand?
Yes, sir.
You want that gag pulled tighter? Now, you just sit down there while I count your money. There's less than 1,000 here. You wearing a money belt?
No.
Ow! Hey, Benny.
Yeah, boss?
Tell Deadwin to bring in them bank sacks.
All of them?
Everything. Don't know why we bothered to bring you along. Except somebody told you my name, didn't they? Now, didn't they? Who am I?
Buckskin Frank Clanton.
What else they tell you?
They didn't tell...
Out with it.
They just said that you were old man Clanton's cousin. May I have a glass of water, please?
when I get around to it.
We whacking it up here, Frank?
I ain't decided yet. This fat fool's less than 1,000 on him.
Can he identify you?
He can. Worse luck for him.
Oh, no, I can't identify you, Mr. Clanton. You were just pointed out to me on Allen Street, and I couldn't...
Shut it! Nobody knows me as a Clanton.
Yeah, he could tie you in with old man Clanton.
Yeah, that cheap, low-down rustler, him and his rowdy boys.
Better get it over with, Frank. You aim to bury him?
Yeah, might be safest. Tell Benny to start digging a grave.
Yes, sir.
You apparently don't know who I am.
You're a drummer, ain't you?
My name is Ned Buntline. I'm the author of 56 novels.
Storybooks? Like they sell on trains?
And all over the world, sir. And furthermore, I am a close personal friend of Marshal Wyatt Earp.
You must be getting mighty careless about his friends.
Well, if any harm comes to me, he'll hunt you down.
Sure. Now, we yanked you right out of Tombstone. Now, where was Earp?
Well, he's heard about it by now, I assure you.
Hey, boss. Deadwood said you was going to bury him first.
What about it?
There ain't no time. We ain't far enough away, and besides, we still got to whack up all that bank money.
You talk too much.
But, boss!
Now, turn around and walk out that door. Go on.
No, boss. No. No, boss. No.
Oh! What? You shot him in the back.
It's as good a place as any.
Hey, Deadwood, come here.
Benny! Look at here, Frank.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No! No, I
Keep
won't.
sit still. Sit tight. I'll be sending a committee of boys in to find out why I killed Benny and Deadwood.
You must be mad.
You're like a fox.
I thought there was honor among thieves.
Honor? Why, there's over $40,000 in them bags. Now, when the boys come in, now you just keep your mouth shut, you understand?
Murderer!
We better push along, Wyatt. I got the jitters. I don't trust that buckskin Frank.
Mr. Gibbs, you just don't understand practical jokers. Mr. Leslie's having the time of his life.
Yeah, but you told me that Buntline was right spunky. He just might get some of them fellers sore at him.
Yeah. Come on.
Now, there are 2 of us in here, Tex. And 5 out there. Now, ain't a 2-way cut better than splitting it up 7 ways?
Yeah. But what about him? He'd be a witness.
Well, I got plans for him.
What plans?
Well, you see, now, he's a rich writing fella. We'll take him into Tucson and make him wire New York for $20,000. And if he don't, he won't give us no trouble, will you, Buntline?
Will you promise not to kill those men outside?
Well, now, why shouldn't we kill him?
Well, you don't kill your own pals in cold blood.
Well, now, where did you ever hear a thing like that? I reckon a fella's got to be that way, though, to write a book. Well, we better get at it, Tex.
You're not...
Now,
you're
you
not...
keep sitting right there.
Murderers. Unbelievable fiends. I will not...
All done good. Benny did what you cashed in wonderful. Done me a little play acting one time. Well, you scared me. I thought I left a real bullet amongst them blanks. Now, all but you, Tex. Head back into town real quiet like. Now, I want to pull off one more murder before we go back in, so don't rush it.
You don't yet on the killing, Sam. On your knees.
No, you don't. Hey, Frank, this frightened fella's trying to run off. You better say your prayers for sure. Go ahead. Go ahead and shoot me.
You want to die?
Well, my death will bring Wyatt Earp and some brave peace officers after you.
Get the bullets out of my saddlebag there and get the guns ready. You stand up against that wall. Get there.
These ain't blank strength, they're real bullets.
Shut up. I know what I'm doing.
How things going?
Well, all right so far, Marshal, but if I was you, I'd move in fast. Sometimes Leslie gets carried away with his joking.
Thank you.
Now stand steady, or Buntline. How do you expect me to draw your picture with you flinching and moving?
Get it over with.
There's plenty of time. Move your head a little bit to the left. There. I want the rest of the clans to know how Buckskin Frank drawed your picture with bullets.
You almost hit him, Frank.
Huh? I draw my wife's picture like this time and time again.
Did you murder her?
Oh, she left me. She said it got on her nerves. Silly girl. You notice the spacing of them bullets? You see any wobble in that line? Give me that other gun.
You're going to murder me anyway. Do it with one shot.
Spunky cuss, ain't he?
Yeah. I kinda hate to do this.
Hold it. Wyatt Earp. Put the gun on the table. You all right, Mr. Buntline?
Oh, why, thank heaven you're here. He killed most of his men, and he was going to kill me.
Mr. Gibbs, you take those criminals outside, tie them up, put them on a horse. We're going to throw them in jail.
Outside, Embers.
Scum.
Scum. Scum.
Now, you come on over here and sit down, Mr. Buntline. You look mighty nervous.
Oh, White, it was awful. It was just awful.
Well, you just relax there. Mr. Gibbs, bring Mr. Buntline the bottle. I want you to tell me exactly what happened.
Oh, Wyatt, he broke every rule in the Outlaws' code. Oh. The men he killed didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance. No.
Well, when you're raised by Apaches, it's...
Yeah. You see, they took all my things, and they took my money, and they were going to hold me for ransom. And if you hadn't come, I'd be dead. I'd just be dead.
Here, thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Here, now, you take some of this.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Just drink a little of that.
I would be dead.
You sure you're not exaggerating?
Wyatt, when a man comes as close to death as I was, he sees things very clearly. I remembered everything you said, but you only guessed at their fiendishness.
Really?
Yes. But soon the world will know the truth. Wyatt, was he really raised by Apaches?
Mescalero tribe, I think.
Mescalero? How do you spell? Oh, never mind. I'll get it.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail, and none can deny it. The legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.